String silencers, arm guard, bow stringer, string, shooting glove, arrows, owner's manual. So in this video, I'm going to talk about shooting a longbow. I'm going to be talking about shooting instinctively, and I'm going to use this longbow made by Sanlita. This is the Royal X8, and this is my first time with my hands on this bow, and it's nice. I'm liking it, and I personally got a 35-pound bow because generally these bows are measured at either a 28 or 29 inch draw length, and I have a 31.5. So you're going to add about roughly 2 pounds of draw weight per added inch of draw length. So very often I'm shooting closer to 40, and we're going to give this bow a try today. So if you didn't see my last video, make sure you check that out. That video was on how to shoot a recurve bow for beginners. Now this bow I'm going to be shooting instinctively, no sight. So let's go ahead and get started. And the first thing I want to do is put the bowstring on the bow. So I just slid it over the top, and then I'll put it over the bottom into the grooves. I mentioned this in my last video. I typically like to put a rubber band around the bottom one. It just kind of holds it on and makes it easier for the stringing process. But I don't have one. Oh, here's one. So these are the points for the arrows, and there was a rubber band around it. So I will use that. So I'll take that rubber band, and I'll just go right around here like this. And it just kind of makes it easier when you're stringing a bow. Alright, with this style of bow stringer, there's a boot end and then like a sliding piece that you're going to put over the opposite end. So this is going to go over the top. Boot's going to go on the bottom. Now I'm going to step on this. Now when you string a bow, you always want to be really careful and make sure that the string is in the grooves properly here on both ends before you use the bow. And it is. Now this string does not have a knock on it. I prefer to have a knock on it. Some traditional archers don't, but I am going to put a knock point on there. Here's an example of an arrow. Let's see, 30-inch arrow with a 500 spine. Again, I ordered a 35-pound bow. I'll go put it on the draw board and get a sense of where will the poundage be at my draw length. So I got a target right there. I'm not going to let go, but I just want to get a feel for this. Okay. Let me go see what poundages. I'm going to go put a knock point on, check the poundage, and I'll be right back. All right, so I just put the string on, well, put the knock point on, and I forgot to put the silencers on at first. So put those on. It's just a matter of splitting the string a little bit. I unstrung it to do that, wrapping them around, and then restringing it. So I also put all the tips on the arrows. Now, like I said, the bow comes with 30-inch long arrows. I'll go take a few shots. It'll prevent me from coming to full draw because they'll just be a little under, which makes it a little hard for a good release. So you want your release to be back like this. Not able to come to full draw, my elbow won't be straight back, so I won't be able to get a nice back release. So my hand's going to probably get a little bit stuck here because of that. But we'll go give it a try and take a few shots and see what happens. I mean, first impression though, I'm very impressed with this particular bow. So let's go take some shots. All right, the way that I shoot a bow instinctively is I want to stare at the exact point that I want to hit. I want to keep my eyes focused on that. I want to have good body mechanics, so I want good form, relax my hands at full draw, and when I feel like I'm in the right spot, I'm going to release with my hand straight back. And a lot of instinctive shooting comes from a lot of practice and muscle memory. So that went dead center of that target. That's exactly where I was looking and where I wanted it to go. And this is my first time shooting this bow. It's my first time shooting instinctively, probably in over a year too. So that goes to show that, you know, you can kind of run like a bike. I mean, like when you get decent at instinctive shooting, you could pick up a bow, and it's not that hard to be on target when you have your good form and mechanics all down. Got bugs flying in my eyes, it's making it tough here. Alright, a couple things to keep in mind for body mechanics is you want to keep pressure into the back of the grip, the center of the back of the grip. You don't want any torquing going on, and you want this hand relaxed. Now, I just put a knock on this bow, and I took one shot and had bad arrow flight, so then I'm knocking above the knock point just because it's a little too low for this setup, but later on I'll move the knock above the arrow. But normally you're going to knock below the knock point. So set your grip, set your body position, draw into your anchor point. I go right to the side of my lip, and then when you feel like you're on, come straight back. With instinctive shooting, you're aiming in a sense. You don't aim like you do a static sight system. You're aiming as you bring the bow up, you're aiming for that point you want to hit. Okay, and you want good mechanics, good follow through. Now, I had grown up with the habit of releasing as soon as possible. You know, that's just the way my dad kind of taught me. So that's another reason why it's important. I'm aiming right here. I'm feeling where I need to point this arrow. And then as I come to full draw, I'm still aiming this whole time. I'm holding the arrow where I want it to go. And then when I'm at full draw, I'm still right there where I want to be. And then the rest is, it's about good body mechanics and follow through. I do find that I'm a little more consistent and accurate if I do at least a slight pause at full draw. So let me try to show you what I mean. So there was like a slight pause when I came to full draw, and that went right into the center of the target. I do talk about instinctive shooting in my new archery book that just came out, and if you want to check that out, I'll provide links for that in the description section. But these body mechanics are really important for good instinctive shooting. Instinctive shooting is not just pulling back and feeling it and letting go. You're going to help your instincts shine and the arrow go where you want it to go if you have good archery form and body mechanics. Also, I find it very important to really focus my eyes on one small point on target. Don't just look at the whole target. Pick one small point and keep your eyes locked on that small point. Just like that. And if you're new, definitely make sure you wear an arm guard. So everything I'm shooting here comes as a kit. I like this setup. I didn't pause quite long enough. That shot went a little bit low. Let me pause a little bit better here. Just get a little pause. You're kind of getting a feel for where to hold that arrow you're not like aiming statically. You're not looking down the arrow shaft and putting the point anywhere. With instinctive shooting, you really are kind of feeling where to hold that arrow, and after doing it enough, you get a feel for where that needs to be. While we're out here, I just want to show that, see, these are laminated bows, so there's, different layers. I do not know the exact type of materials that are being used in these bows, but it is laminated, so typically you'll get a little bit more power with a laminated bow and longevity with it. The string silencers are really nice. You can hear just how quiet this bow is, which is nice. I like that. So I'm going to say overall first impressions, I really like this, and you just might see me in a hunting video with this year. You'll just have to stay tuned to find out. First impressions, I really enjoyed shooting this bow. I had a lot of fun with it. There's a decent amount of brace height, so it wasn't hitting my wrist. I do like that they give you a nice long arm guard, especially if you're new. Having as much coverage as possible is good. But really nice feel for the bow. It's very light. And if you're thinking of getting one, just keep in mind that the draw weight, at least for this one, this is a 35-pound bow, and it was hitting 35 pounds when I got to right around the 27 to 28 inch draw length range. I was actually hitting closer to 27 inch draw length. So when I got it back to 31.5, which is what I draw to, it was measuring 46.7 pounds. So for someone of a 31.5 inch draw length ordering a 35-pound bow, you're going to be shooting more like 46 to 47 pounds. And if you're shooting like a 25 or 26 inch draw length, if you were to order the 35-pound bow limb, it's going to be less. It's going to be closer to 31 or 30, 32, somewhere in that range. So it's going to go down if your draw length is shorter than that. It's going to go up, your draw weight, if your draw length is longer than that. Now I'm going to unstring the bow, because you should always unstring it when you're not using it. And I really like the fact that it comes with this particular bow comes with this case. I'll provide a link for this particular setup in the description section of the video if you're interested in getting one yourself. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope you'll stay tuned for the next video where I do the Royal X8 recurve. Until then, take care and God bless.